Okay, here's the deal. I am sick to death of your bullshit and this bullshit writing. You have one opportunity to win me over again, and I will not let you go easily.
I'm not concerned, sir. Remember the Peter Jackson movies?
Yes?
Remember how they're known for big, massive battles?
Yes?
Well, it's our turn for battle.
Oh. Well, I'm nervous. So far, you have proven to be totally incompetent, but I'll give you a chance.
Sarcasm.
No! It's not a joke, you are shit.
We start with Adar giving a speech to his children.
Ooh, daddy.
And Adar leads the army right up to the watchtower, right to the front gates.
Adar himself walks undefended up to the front gate of an enemy stronghold. Why, this would be like Vladimir Putin walking into the Ukraine to storm a small village. You see, it makes no fucking sense.
But nobody is in the stronghold. We reveal it's been abandoned.
But Adar doesn't know that.
Surprise, motherfucker. Armalas sneak attacks. He kills a few orcs, and then he shoots an arrow at the watchtower, shooting a rope, and it comes loose. Dropping every stone, the watchtower falls, killing every orc in sight.
I have an idea. Let's play a game. I'll take a shot every time you say something that sounds completely ridiculous, and you lose $10,000 off your contract. Let's start now.
Isildur awakens early, and we cut to him having a conversation with Galadriel, and she's still wearing her armor.
I'm not even going to go into why that is so dumb. Like the length of the journey, or the fact that no one else is wearing armor. Instead of explaining to you why you suck, I think I'll just take this delicious shot of wild turkey. Cheers!
Isildur is very embarrassed to be a stable sweep,
As he should be.
and Galadriel tells him that humility has saved entire kingdoms.
Galadriel said this.
Armalas is trying to destroy the hilt. He's hammering away at it, but he says it is beyond our skill to destroy.
I get it. Elrond reference, Fellowship of the Ring. You're not clever. Are you going to explain why we cannot destroy the hilt? Or are you just going to keep it vague so you can have that remember me moment?
Bronwyn gives another speech.
Who?
And despite the fact that Bronwyn always looks like she's on the verge of tears and looks like she could barely pick up a sack of grain, she's the one leading the unwashed men of the Southlands into battle.
Strength and experience is not something needed in a military commander anyway.
Theo asks his mother if she remembers what she used to tell him when he had bad dreams as a child. And he asks her to repeat it to him now.
Why does every character have to go about their dialogue in this big jerk-off, "Ooh, look at me, look how intellectual my dialogue is" kind of way? Why cannot Theo just say to his mother, "Help me, mother, I am scared"? Cut the vanity out of your writing, and maybe these characters would be, dare I say, relatable?
In the end, this shadow is but a small and passing thing. There is light.
Stop right there! I will not let you use Tolkien's words directly. No!
Okay, it's time!
Oh yes, let's battle!
The town is silent, not a peep. But then, Armalas spots the torches of the orcs crossing the countryside.
They have their torches lit. Are they trying to give away their position? And also, they're orcs! They don't need a source of light!
Bronwyn fails to light one of the traps, getting her friend killed.
Oh no!
And she screams out loud before having a sword fight with this orc. She ends up killing it, then lights the trap, all without alerting the other orcs that are only 20 yards away.
You know what I've realized? You say a lot of dumb things. Why, I probably will not be able to stand up if I keep shooting this delicious wild turkey. So instead of doing that, I'll just have a sip of this so smoky, so cold and delicious Jim Beam double serve.
But their plan has worked. They've cornered all 30 of the orcs in the town center, and now the men of the Southlands are firing on them.
Does anybody question the number of orcs? Surely no one thinks such a small number makes up the entire army.
But no time to think about that, sir, because Armorlass is pulled from the roof, and now we have a WWE SmackDown with a big orc.
Oh, did the big man forget his sword? What a fucking idiot.
And I thought we could make this scene look like it was captured in one big long take. So what we're gonna need to do is get the actors to slowly and very awkwardly hit their marks, just so we can get the camera in position at the right time. And what we're gonna do is get the camera so close to their bodies that we can awkwardly cut to the next scene, and then we can pinch it all together to make it look like one shot.
If we cannot do this in one take, then why are we trying to make it look like we are?
The orc is choking Armorlass, and he gets it all over his face.
Ooh, kinky.
Bronwyn saves him.
Strong, female, check.
And the battle is over.
Already?
Yes, sir. But there's a twist. All of the orcs they just killed, we reveal, were actually the men of the village that turned on them.
And they're surprised by this? Usually when someone joins the opposing side of war, naturally, you're going to fight them.
And while they are mourning the loss, the rest of Adar's forces attack.
If only they were in a stronghold, with towering walls and only one entrance.
Bronwyn is shot in the torso.
She will be missed.
Oh no, sir. She is far from dead. She is very much alive.
Do you remember when Armorlass's friend was shot and he died instantly?
No.
Let me help you remember.
Armorlass's friend is shot with 2 arrows in the chest, and he dies instantly.
2 arrows? Well, now that you've set this precedent, you must stick to it in future episodes. It would be very, very stupid if somebody else were to survive 2 arrows to the torso, especially someone smaller and weaker. Oh, say Bronwyn, she comes to mind first, yes?
Oh, right. Well, we're gonna let her live, just to show what a strong, defiant character she is.
She has no character! She's the most generic, boring character in the entire show! And that's really saying something!
She tells Theo they need to stop the bleeding.
But with the arrow inside her, it would be stopping most of the bleeding. I am no doctor, but I'm pretty sure I know this. Isn't Bronwyn a healer herself?
So they remove the arrow with ease, and she starts bleeding profusely.
Obviously.
But it's okay. Armorlass has some oats with him, and he plants it inside the wound and then gets a little hot stick to burn it. And just like that, she's fine.
It's too bad Legolas didn't have any oats with him when Boromir was dying.
It's morning now, sir, and the Númenóreans have made land. In fact, they are sprinting on their horses to the small village to save them.
Stop! There is so much wrong with what you just said. Are you telling me it's morning already? Are you telling me the orcs waited till almost dawn before they launched their attack? And the Númenóreans? How do they know where they're going? How could they possibly know where they're going? What is the Southlands? Is the Southlands just one village? How do they know to go to this one village? How do they know it's under attack? What's with the urgency? How come they're sprinting on their horses? How long is the journey? The horses will surely be dead before they get there. You can't just sprint on a horse for days at a time, hours at a time without the horse fucking dying. How do they know where they're going? Have I already said this? I feel like I'm going insane. I think I'm having another stroke. I'm going to lose my breath. I want to kill you. This is the worst writing I've ever seen. What is this show? I don't know what's happening anymore.
We go back to the village, and it's nighttime now.
You are trying to fuck with me, aren't you?
Adar wants the hilt, and he violently stabs many of the townsfolk in order to get it.
Extreme violence. Exactly what Tolkien was going for when he wrote all this lore.
But when Bronwyn is threatened, Theo gives up the hilt.
Doesn't he know his mother is invincible?
Adar walks back outside, and it's morning again.
I
I will kill you when this is all over. And the Numenorians have arrived.
Great!
They use a chain to clothesline some orcs.
You're just insulting my intelligence at this point.
The Samoan Numenorian, his helmet falls off.
Defeats the purpose of a helmet.
And Queen Muriel sends one stable sweep to turn the tide of battle. Elendil's helmet falls off.
Again, that defeats the purpose of a helmet.
And Elendil is saved by Halbrand, who also doesn't wear a helmet.
Good! I'm glad all our main characters are conveniently losing their helmets. Otherwise, how will I know who's who?
Adar takes off, but Galadriel follows in pursuit. And after about 100-yard head start, Halbrand follows.
Okay.
Galadriel whispers to her horse, because remember Arwen in the Fellowship of the Ring?
Yeah?
Then Halbrand comes from the other direction and trips Adar.
The other direction? How? When? How?
Halbrand asks Adar if he remembers him.
Ooh.
And just when Halbrand is about to impale Adar, Galadriel shouts at him and stops him.
A fully grown man, mid-lunge with murder in his eyes, simply does not stop right before he kills the target. Have you ever heard of inertia and momentum?
Eat your tongue.
Fuck you.
It's time for some advanced interrogation.
Torture! Great!
Galadriel threatens to have the orcs brought out into the sunlight if Adar does not start speaking.
That reminds me, I was so distracted with all your other bullshit that I forgot to ask. But did we not just see the orcs fighting in sunlight?
Adar says he just wants a home for his people. They are just as deserving of life as anybody else.
Well, that is a fair argument.
But Galadriel calls the orcs a mistake and says she will make it her life mission to go about Middle-earth eradicating their entire species. In fact, she says to Adar she will keep him alive just to make sure he sees that she has completed her genocide.
Whoa! Are we sure she's the good guy?
Absolutely, sir. What's wrong?
Oh, it's nothing. I just had an idea for a TV show where we follow Hitler as the main character. We follow his mission, you know, to kill all the Jews. I think that would be a great show. He would make a great protagonist.
Who's Hitler?
World War II. You are kidding, right?
There was a Second World War?
Oh my god.
Galadriel goes to kill Adar, but is stopped by Halbrand.
So that's twice in 5 minutes Adar has almost been stabbed through the neck, only to be stopped at the last second by someone calling out. I hate you.
Galadriel and Halbrand flirt.
Are you aware that Galadriel is married in the law?
But Halbrand is cock-blocked by Queen Muriel, who demands the return of the king.
I see what you did there. Clever.
Bronwyn is up and walking.
Not so clever.
And she sees that Halbrand wears that sigil. And so do the townsfolk. And they rejoice in the return of their king.
Is there no documentation, no lineage, no rights to becoming the king? So you're telling me just a random dude can walk up to this village and say, I'm the king, and all the people just accept him?
Halbrand is now crowned king of the Southlands.
What even are the Southlands? One village? Game of Thrones was able to set up a better, more expansive world 10 years ago with less money. How is that possible? How is that possible? I'm losing my mind.
Theo discovers that the weapon returned by Galadriel is a fake, a decoy.
Seems to me they should have checked that when they retrieved it.
The pedo has it, and he activates the shrine.
Then what happens?
It opens a floodway, and the dam behind the watchtower starts to empty.
Where to?
Well, sir, remember the tunnels the orcs were digging?
Yes.
The water begins to run through that, all the way to this big, lonely mountain.
A large mountain? In the Southlands?
No. Yes, sir. And the water enters the mountain, spilling onto some lava, and just like that, boom!
Go on!
Within seconds, ash and smoke is spilling into the sky all over the Southlands. It destroys rock, house, people. The pyroclastic flow is so large and strong and hot it engulfs all our characters, and just like that, cut to credits.
Now that is some ballsy writing. Killing off everyone just like that.
No, sir. Everyone will be back next week.
Why, if I wasn't so overwhelmed by the stupidity that just came out of your mouth, like the fact that orcs somehow dug tunnels under half the country that was able to funnel and send water at such a speed under Mount Doom, if I wasn't so overwhelmed by the fact that a volcano that was open, somehow had enough pressure inside it to explode, and not just explode like a normal volcano, but to really explode and destroy half the world, if I wasn't so overwhelmed by the fact that Ada somehow managed to know that there was a key inside of this random Southland village, a key that is activated by a shrine in another random elven watchtower, that somehow when the key activates the watchtower, it releases a door to open a dam and flow the water into the volcano to make Mordor, if I wasn't so overwhelmed by all that, well, I might have stabbed you.
Sir, you're hysterical.